Hello, welcome to the first ever video on the DW Wrestling channel. If you wasn't aware, I've launched some more channels over the last couple of days, including this one and a football channel, so subscribe to them new channels, plus my main channel. All the links will be in the description. Whoa, it's the Colossal Tussle. No, I'm only joking. It's the road to WrestleMania. We are finally here. We have got Fastlane in a couple of days, but Fastlane does not count as a pay-per-view. I do not care what anyone says. It's a crap idea. And as a wise man once said, by the name of Adam Blompier, he said, the worst part of wrestling is wrestling itself. A lot of us love the storylines. A lot of us love the characters. Me, I love a wrestling entrance. Basically, it's the final bit of hype before a match. You've got to make sure the entrance is just right. And these 10 entrances here, I feel are perfect for doing just that in whatever way possible. So without wasting any more time, my name is Dylan White and these are my top 10 WrestleMania entrances from 31 onwards. Now before we get into this list video, I've got to make it clear that I've only watched WrestleManias live from 31 onwards. So these videos, where it's about my WrestleMania opinions, will only be from 31 up until 36 or the current day. So if you are here wanting WrestleManias from the previous 30 before that, you're not in the right place. And I can only apologise. Coming at number 10, it's the Usos at WrestleMania 34. Now, as a wrestling fan, I've got this obvious idea and dream to maybe one day be a professional wrestler. And being a twin brother as well, I've also got the option that I could probably accept being a tag team. And if you're not aware already, the Usos are a tag team and they're twin brothers. And coming into WrestleMania 34, it was their first main card event and they was walking in as the tag team champions. You don't get any bigger than that as a tag team, and you could see in themselves, away from their characters, you can see their pure emotion bleeding through. They finally made it. And not only that, everything about this entrance is just hype. You just know you're getting ready for an amazing fight. But the thing that's weird is that this was not the best entrance of that particular match. We'll get onto that one in a bit. Coming in at number 9, it's Batista at WrestleMania 35. A lot of WrestleMania entrances have all of these gimmick things that go on and they just don't make any sense. For example, Triple H's entrance in this very match. Why is there CGI cars? Why is there a chase? Any excuse for him to have a skull motorbike? There's no need for it, but Batista's entrance in this match made perfect sense. Since his last match in 2014, Batista went on to be this massive Hollywood A-list superstar, and this entrance showed that off perfectly. Security, his name in bold writing on the Titantron. We won't talk about the botch, because that was an accident, and we can forgive accidents, but at the same time, it did make me laugh, so that adds to the feel of this entrance. And if you can tell by my timeline of when I watched wrestling, I didn't get to experience much Batista, so this felt even bigger to me because he's always been like a part-timer for me. At number 8, we've got the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania 33. Sometimes it's the entrance itself that makes people get excited, but for this instance, it was everything that happened before it. So the original plan was going to be a triple threat ladder match for the Raw Tag Team Championships between the champions Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Enzo and Big Cass. But then just as the match is about to begin, the New Day, who are the hosts, they come out and they're in their ring gear, and the commentary sell this perfectly. They're saying how the New Day are going to be the 4th team they've entered themselves in because they're the hosts, and the fans are half clued in with the fact that it could be the New Day or the Hardys, but the audio work at this WrestleMania was done so well that you could barely pick up. And I remember watching this one live and thinking, okay, the New Day are walking down. And then the music hits, and it's the old school Hardy Boys theme music, which I feel like for a lot of Attitude Era fans added a bit more nostalgia in. But for me, just the idea of having the Hardy Boys finally back in the WWE ring, when I'd never seen them in WWE before, it was just a cool moment. It was just a cool moment. The swerve from the New Day and the commentary team, the pop from the crowd, everything just worked perfectly. Coming in at number 7, it is Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 32. It's incredible to think that in 2016, when Shane McMahon returned, we was all happy to see him. What easier times. But this was his first match back in the WWE since he left. And what better way or bigger way to have a match than have it against The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania, with the idea that you're going to become the Raw General Manager if you win this match. And it was just a typical Shane McMahon entrance. There was money falling from the sky, which you can only really get away with at WrestleMania and that sort of thing. But the reason it's on this list is because up to this point, he's the only person to have his entrance with his kids. And I just think that's a really wholesome moment. Seeing his kids come out, not only would it have been cool for Shane to have his kids come and do the entrance, but you've got to remember, their grandfather, Vince McMahon, the guy behind the entire show, is allowing this moment, having his grandkids go out there, perform on WrestleMania. It must have been such a cool moment for the McMahon family. And I know we give them a lot of stick, but moments like that are just so wholesome, and it would have definitely tugged on some heartstrings. Probably would tug on my heartstrings now if I was watching it these days. But, you know, back then I was a 15-year-old and I was an emotional stone. I wish I was that balanced now. And talking about emotional entrances, coming at number 6, it's Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 34. We all remember what it was like when he retired in 2016. It was such an emotional moment. We thought this was it, end of an era, Daniel Bryan can't wrestle anymore. And then he got the all clear shortly before WrestleMania 34. And then the tag team match was made between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And we were all excited. I remember feeling the anticipation for this match. I remember being excited for this match and for Daniel Bryan. And just seeing Daniel Bryan's emotion almost bleed through as he makes the entrance. So coming in at number 5, it is Naomi at WrestleMania 33. Not many people get a hometown WrestleMania entrance. She had a unanimous fan support from the Orlando crowd, and the hype entrance, the hype music. You can just see that Naomi's just enjoying herself. She's being herself and she's loving it. And sometimes with entrances, especially at WrestleMania, just throw the character out the window, just be yourself, have fun. And that's exactly what Naomi did here, and that's just why I enjoy that entrance so much. Coming in at number 4, it is the New Day at WrestleMania 34. See, I told you that the Usos' entrance weren't the best in that match. So with the New Day, there were several WrestleMania entrances that I could have gone for. I could have gone with WrestleMania 32 when they came out of a box of Butio cereal, but that entrance was ruined by the IWC, who selfishly videoed the entrance from the sidelines and showed them running out from gorilla position. I could have also gone with WrestleMania 35 when it was just Kofi's entrance, when it was Kofi Mania. The entrance felt wholesome, and it just showed solidarity between the entire unit. But WrestleMania 34's entrance was so ridiculous and so fun that it would be rude not to pick it. I mean, it at first just looks like a standard New Day entrance, and then pancake dwarfs come out. How do you predict stuff? How do people write this stuff? And the moment that picked it for me was when all the dwarfs came out and Corey Grave noticed that one of the dwarfs had tattoos on his neck and nicknamed this guy Pancake Graves. Why did we not get more Pancake Graves? Why did we not just get that? That would have been perfect. I loved the New Day in 2018. They were so fun, they were so creative, and this entrance just showed it so much. Coming in at number 3, it's Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31. This was my very first WrestleMania that I watched live. I could have watched WrestleMania 30, but the WWE Network was not available in the UK, so I couldn't. So this was my first WrestleMania. And I'm not talking about the entrance against Orton earlier in the night. I'm talking about the moment Seth Rollins cashed in. He runs down to the ring, interrupting Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, ruining Roman Reigns' coronation moment. He ruins it, cashes in. It was controversially brilliant and the best line of commentary, in my opinion, ever in WWE history. Highest of a century. The entire moment, one of the biggest WrestleMania moments ever. And it all kicked off with that run down to the ring, with that music. It was just perfect. It was perfect for the time, perfect for the moment, and a brilliant rush into a new era of WWE. Coming in at number 2, it is Shinsegae Nakamura at WrestleMania 34. Everything in this entrance made it feel big, and that's what you need at WrestleMania. The live music was absolutely incredible. The rock twist on Shinsegae Nakamura's Rising Sun theme song was perfect. Everyone was excited about the idea we was going to get AJ Styles versus Shinsegae Nakamura for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. And it was Shinsegae Nakamura's first ever WrestleMania, and this was the stage he was being put on. WWE Championship, the biggest title in WWE, it may be in wrestling, and this is the stage he's been put at. We won't talk about the match itself or the heel turn afterwards, even though the heel turn was good and the match was okay, it just didn't live up to fans' expectations. And then coming in at number 1, it's a very niche decision. It's Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 32. It is the only entrance in wrestling history that still gives me goosebumps. It's my favourite wrestler, it's my favourite theme song. Just the audio on that broadcast that night was just perfect. The right level of bass, everything just made you feel hyped anytime anyone made their entrance. And Kevin Owens, when the music kicks in and he walks out and the graphics change, you can just feel everything that's going through Kevin Owens' body. People that know Kevin Owens and knows the journey he went through as Kevin Steen or as Kevin Owens from NXT know how long it took him to get to this point, and you can just feel this raw emotion of he's made it. And weirdly, even though I don't know him, it made me feel proud of Kevin Owens. And the fact that he's walking in as the Intercontinental Championship, which is my favourite title in WWE, for me personally, everything just added up and it was perfect. And that's why Kevin Owens has, in my opinion, the best WrestleMania entrance of all time. So that's my WrestleMania entrance list. Let me know if you thought any other entrances would have made this list, how you would have rearranged them, added your own in. Let me know if there's any entrances from previous WrestleManias that you enjoyed and wanted me to include. I've been Dylan White. Subscribe to all my other channels, and I'll see you in the next one.